Alright, we got a game with 3 masters. Let's get right into it. Got a Yakai pair, which is nice, 5 blocks. Kind of bad shapes, but we'll see how it pans out. The question is whether it's that useful to keep these honors, and I think I'm willing to keep them around. There's even a chance that we could potentially try and head for a flush, honestly. But I'm not sure if that is the correct way to play. Because the thing is, like, I mean, we already have enough blocks, right? So keeping these other tiles, yes, the Tuso could give us a good weight around if we draw the... Okay, now... now I'm thinking. Okay, let's just go ahead and drop green right now. It's true that the Tuso could have given us a good weight if we drew the 3, so, but I think it was still okay to sort of pursue a potential chance of getting extra value via the... what is it? Via the... I think it's just 2. Is it 2? It's 2. Yeah, via the flush or whatever. Or just pairing up the green dragon and then maybe getting Toy Toy or whatever, all triplets. There were potential chances for us to get value like that, but now we're sort of, well, already in D10, so it's not really that big of a deal. Here we're just going to go and drop white. If we draw something around the Dora, then we will be in, have a very nice hand. Definitely not going to be dropping the 4 or 5. However, no can. And this poem is not a poem either, yeah. I'm not gonna go ahead and call that when we could just call Ricci as well. It's true that calling over here and then dropping, like, I don't know, the 6-8 could force the usage of the Dora, but it's really not worth it. Especially considering calling like that is not even going to give us as much value as calling Ricci when we don't use the Dora. Alright, Ricci. East +1. That's already, how much? 6,400. That's pretty huge. So yeah, don't need to open this hand really, unless we are calling for Tempai. Yeah, I'm not even gonna go ahead and call that, although I'm not sure if Maka will agree with that play, considering that, well, this one at least gives us the ability to, No, I'm pretty sure that was a bad call, yeah. We're gonna go ahead and drop the Dora now and take the wire E-Tanten. The reason why I think it's a bad call is because we can still call for Tempai here, even without calling this 3-pin. If somehow calling a 3-pin allowed us to get like Taiyao or something like that, a Yaku, right? Then maybe it would be okay to call, and then allow ourselves to call more, but calling the 3-pin here isn't even going to give us extra sort of, or isn't even going to allow us to call, because we could have already called without calling a 3-pin. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. The deal is, right, since we already have the ability to call, calling a 3-pin doesn't give us any extra sort of, I guess, utility, right? Instead of just, you know, waiting for example, the 7-so to come out. And of course, this dealing is perfectly fine. We should have called Ricci there, and I do not regret anything about, well, how I played there. Okay, yeah, sorry about the rambling. It is East 2, and we are in last place, but only by a very small amount. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the green and red, probably, next. Not gonna drop the Penton, even though it could give us Taiyao. This 1-so, however, is pretty useless. Definitely gonna keep in mind the ability to get Taiyao, however, over here, because, well, that can allow us to call, allow us to use the Dora a bit easier than usual, I suppose. Maybe there's a chance to get the 2-3-4 Sanshoku, but it's not a huge deal, even if we don't get it. Considering the point situation is very tight, I want to get into Tempai quickly, call Ricci with a good weight, ideally. We'll see how things go. We don't have a pair yet, but we should be able to find a pair pretty decently easily. I mean, we have many ways to get... okay, a pair. That one's kind of... I don't like that. I don't want to drop the Dora here, but the question is, how exactly do we play it, then? I mean, we could just drop the 3-man, I guess. Is 7-man better, though? I think 7-man might be better. I'm gonna drop 3 because it allows us to use the pair up the 1-4 to get Pinfu. I think that's probably slightly better than dropping a 7. And still, I don't want to be dropping the Dora, so that's why I am not going to be doing that. That being said, I mean, you could consider dropping the Dora because Well, okay, let's just imagine, right, the shape that we get when we lose a Dora. It's, we accept basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 for Tenpai, and generally with a good weight. The problem is that we lose value. Maybe it was better to just drop the Dora after all then. Yeah, I mean, I am being a bit greedy here, but I'm not sure if it's better to, yeah, drop the Dora or keep the Dora. Now we're just gonna chase the Ricci. And if we deal in with the Dora, well, so be it. Yeah, there's no, we can't really sort of fold against the player in Ricci just because we have to drop the Dora, considering we're in last place and we have a good weight. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And how big are we going to deal in? BT Pinfu? BT Pinfu, 2,000 points. Okay, so the, what's called, is still, I mean, we've lost 2 Ricci sticks as well as our, what's called, 3,300 deal-ins. 3,300 points in deal-ins. So we're quite significantly sort of behind, but it's still perfectly, you know, doable to get out of 4th, right? We just need to sumo like 3-han, for example, and then we're out. Maybe not 3-han. Well, we can recheat sumo +1, right? No, not recheat sumo +1. Wow, I cannot do math. We can recheat sumo Pinfu +1, for example. Like a 5,200 point sumo would get us into 2nd place. Basically, we're aiming to call Ricci. Is what I'm trying to get at here. Of course, we're still gonna keep the Yakai around because I'm pretty sure they're better to keep than the 9-so, for example, still. It's just, I would like to turn this into a Ricci hand if possible, right, in order to get value, basically. If we pair up, you know, if we get extra Dora, then that would be amazing as well, but again, we can't just win 4,000 points and necessarily get out of last place. So, I think I'm okay with dropping this 1 pin. So I would like to call Ricci if possible, right, to get the extra chances at value. Alright. Either way, let's just go ahead and drop white now. Not sure if keeping the 1 pin was better than keeping the white, but I'm pretty sure 1 is pretty weak because, well, even though we have like a chance of getting a 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 shape over here, it's just not that strong because the 4 is sort of out, the 1 is sort of out. Also, the 2s are hard to draw as well, so it's hard to turn this into any sort of shape other than that. Considering we already have a pair elsewhere, it's not too important for us to keep the 1, 1, 2, 3, I think. Anyways. And here we've got a 3rd pair. Still looking for a 5th block, which is really bad considering it is already, you know, halfway through the hand. At this point, we would like to already be an E-Shan hand, but we are still quite a ways away. This 3 pin is useless. And so someone could be calling Ricci very soon, and we'll have to deal with that. Considering we're in last place, we would like to try to win still, but if we are just too far away when someone calls Ricci, for example, if someone calls Ricci right now, then we just are gonna have to fold. Like I said, we're just gonna have to fold. The good thing about this player calling Ricci is that they're the dealer, so even if they win, well, number one, they're going to repeat a round, and so we don't really need to be too, we don't need to be too sad about them winning, because we still have time, enough time to sort of come back, even if they win. And additionally, oh no, now I need to think. Green is not droppable. Yeah, I can't drop green. I can't drop anything that's not safe against the dealer, basically. Other thing is that if the dealer wins, well, they're already in first place, so they're just going to get more in first place. And, you know, if we're lucky, they could even, like, roll one of these other players, right? And then we'd have a friend, right, who's under base, so that we can more easily get out of last place. Yeah, so this player, the dealer calling sumo over here, is perfectly fine by us. It means that it's much more difficult for us to get first place, but it's not that much more difficult for us to get out of last place, right? Considering our point difference with second place and third place has not changed. But okay. E3, repeat 1, and we've got a Dora, however it's floating, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to use. If we pair up a Yakai, then we could potentially use the Dora as a pair. We'll see how it goes. The rest of our hand is pretty bad. And, well, there could be a potential for Taiyao, but Taiyao means that we can't use the Dora, so it's not really that exciting. What else are we looking at? Well, there's no red 5s either. We're just gonna have to, yeah, see what comes. Gonna have to get rid of the Yakai at this point. However, we can still pair up the Dora, right, in order to use it, so it's not that, you know, it's not like the Dora is useless at this point still. Anything else to think about? Yeah, so Taiyao, right? I mean, at this point it's either One-So or East, and I think I'd rather have East, so I'm gonna go ahead and drop One-So. If we can't use East, at least we'll have Taiyao, so it's not too horrible to lose, right, the 1 at this point, I think. Okay, 5 blocks. Do we drop the 17? Do we drop the Tong? I think you're supposed to drop Tong at this point. Because if we draw something around the 17, well, we could even get like the 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8, which is plenty of value. So, or that is also already Mangan, right? Assuming we, what's called Kalarichi. So, if we're looking for value, right, the 17 is honestly around as good as the East. However, at this point, I think I have to drop the 17. It's a bit of a weird shape, but, well, 17 does look like it should be the most useless tile. What is going on here? Hello? Do I drop 14? I mean, sure, I guess. I'm just gonna keep the rest of the shapes and sort of confirm all good weights, and keep 4 pairs as well. Okay, fine. I didn't realize that that was gonna happen, but alright then. Very aesthetic hand that's worth no points, basically. He's 3, repeat 2. Let's just pretend this round didn't happen, because, well, really, there isn't that much that changed, right? Our point situation has very little, well, our difference between the 2nd and 3rd place, right, has not changed at all. It's just that the dealer has gotten slightly more points now. And now we've got a pretty good hand that can, well, it doesn't have value, but at least we can Kalarichi with it pretty easily. So that's what I'm hoping to do. We just need to find our 5th block around one of these 3 floaters, the 3 man, the 3 pin, and the 5-so, and hopefully get Pinfu on the way side. Also potential for Taiyao. Gonna drop the 8 pin, it's not useful. If we draw the 6 pin, we can just go ahead and drop 9 pin in order to get what's called Taiyao, well, potentially at least. So that would be quite exciting. For value, that is. Now that the One-Sos are gone, well, this 2-3 shape is not very strong. However, it does make it a little bit more likely that we get Taiyao, right? Okay, now the ones are totally dead, so, well, never mind. Okay, this 9-So accepts the Dora. Do we care? Like, what if we drop the 2-So right now? It's not horrible, I think. Also, like, I think I'd rather just drop the 9-So. The thing is, if we drop the 2-So, we are unable to use the 5-So as a floater, and that's probably a little bit sad. Like, even if we draw the Dora around the 9-So, we'd have bad weight, Isha-10, and that's sort of icky. I don't think I'm that excited to get that. Oh no, now I'm scared. What do we do with this hand? I don't want to take this sort of Isha-10 because it has no value, but I'm not really sure if keeping the 3-man is really worth it at this point. So if we draw into bad weight Senpai, like, am I really supposed to take that? I feel like probably not. I feel like I just want to sort of look for a good weight regardless. Then the question is, well, fine, is there a reason for you to have dropped the 3-man then at that point? And I can't really say so. Here I'm going to drop the 3-pin to confirm Pinfu-ish, or at least a good weight. Is that correct? No, it's not correct. It's so not correct. You're supposed to drop the 3-so, right? Is that true? No. Well, maybe it's true. The reason why I was wondering about whether to drop the 3-so or the 3-pin was because, well, the 1s are dead, right? So this 3-so actually gives us 0 acceptance because we already accept the 4-so. But the nice thing about the, having the 3 so in hand is that if we draw the 4 so, for example, we can take the 1-4-7 shape, which still can't win on the 1 because they're dead, but at least gives a Pinfu, right? So it's not like that horrible to keep this round. Is that true? No, it's not true. It's so not true. What am I saying? Okay, yes. The difference is that if we draw the 7 so, we can drop the 2 so, and then we can wait on the 4 so for Pinfu, which is like a tiny bit of value. And really, I'm not so sure if keeping that chance for value is worth it, but well, that's what I did. It means that basically we'll never need to take the Champon on the 5-pin and the 2-pin, so sorry, or the Kanchan, right, on the 4-pin. If we dropped the 3 so, and then draw the 4-7 so, then we'd be forced to, oh no, it's so over. Then we'd be, I'm gonna drop the 2 so, then we'd be forced to take a Kanchan on the 4-pin, or, the Champon on the 5-pin and the 2 so, and it's not really that exciting to get that weight, with no value and no, with no value and no good weight, right? Richi. Whatever, let's just call it Richi. Go on, it should be correct to take this Senpai, right? I'm pretty sure it's correct to take the Senpai. Oh my god, we're so dead. It's okay, we have the deal around. We have the deal around. Maybe we can get a some kind of comeback. The 3-1 was pretty dangerous, but also like I want my I want my what was it? I want my Tenpai bans. It's really important to get the Tenpai bans at that point, so I was fine to just call Richi at that point. Like, you could have said that not calling Richi was correct, but also, like, you know, if we can roll someone, like, for example, the player to the right on Ipase, that would be pretty nice too, so that's why I decided to call Richi. But, of course, we dealt in, which sucks. Now we just have to deal with it. It's not the end of the world, even if it looks like the end of the world, right? We can sumo a Mangan, and then we'll still be in last place. Shoot. Well, okay, maybe it is kind of the end of the world. Okay, what do we do here? Can we keep the Dora? Keep the Yakai? I think we can keep the Yakai, honestly, because I want to call this hand, and getting a Yakai would potentially give us 3 Han if we can get the Dora, which we still need to draw something around. Boom! Now what? I think we have to drop the Green Dragon at this point, however. Because if we pair up the Dora, it still is high value. And yes, I'm pretty sure you have to pull the Dora over here. Pull the Yakai over here. Okay, Ishanten. Don't deal in, please. Thank you. Like, winning a cheap hand like this, right, imagine we see the 8 so and then drop the 8-man. It kind of sucks, but it doesn't suck as much. Oh. It doesn't suck as much as it looks. Because, for example, if we sumo 1 Han, then we can sumo again Mangan, right, in order to get out of last place. So it's like, you know, I was planning on just getting a cheap win here and hopefully get Mangan the next round, because this hand really can't turn into a Mangan very easily. But unfortunately, we did not win, so, well, kind of anticlimactic, and we end up in 4th place. That's okay. It happens sometimes. We just have to keep on playing, and things will work out, hopefully. Anyways, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.